vision that they've laid out, which is contextualizing literacy and making that connection between our education programs and our workforce programs to really create integrated pathways. That is very much what we are endeavoring to do here in Philadelphia. And to know that we now have leadership at the federal level that has that visionary belief, and to have that, at the local level means that we're going to be able to do this. So yes, we can. So JOIN, for those of you who are not familiar, is a regional funding collaborative. And what we do is we create partnerships that ultimately are trying to serve two customers: adults who want to upskill and to move into jobs that pay enough so that they can survive and feed their families, and businesses who have specific gaps in their talent pipeline and who need a bit of upskilling in terms of the labor market in order to get those adults that we're talking about into those jobs of the future. And what's unique about us is that we're a public-private partnership. So the U.S. DOL and the state DOL are part of it. We also have the United Way, the William Penn Foundation, the Knight Foundation, the Philadelphia WIB. And so we have both public and private monies. And that means that we see ourselves as an R&D team. We're trying to do things with the private money that are experimenting, and we're trying to then bring in the public money to complement and to leverage that experimentation. And so we really have a three-part strategy to our R&D effort. The first is investment. And we invest in partnerships that bring together employers, job training organizations, and social service organizations. And what we're trying to do is create pathways, and they have a few common characteristics. And you can read about them in the materials that we happened to put on your chairs before you got here. So the characteristics that they share are, one, that they are trying to get people to family-sustaining wage jobs. Two, that they are led by industry. So businesses have literally come to us and they've said, we have this green economy, we know we're going to have customers, but we don't know if we're going to have our workforce. And we know that's a growth industry. We've had healthcare companies that have said, we see a nursing and nursing assistant shortage in the long run. So we get those together and we invest in partnerships between those businesses and then adult literacy providers and community centers and job training organizations to create a really integrated pathway. Then we evaluate what we're doing and we try to illuminate what are the best practices. And some of them are known, and contextualized literacy now is empirically proven. And some of them are unknown. We're working with community centers. We believe very strongly that if you have that connection and trust, you have a powerful way to engage with the adult workforce. And that's a key part of our recovery. And so we're learning about whether or not we're right in terms of using the community center as a pivot point. Then the final thing is we're advocating. And so we are advocating for the things we know, and we're very fortunate to have help on and incredible materials that have been created by the WIB to do that. And then we're also beginning to advocate for the things that we're learning about. So talking about waivers between Title I and Title II that can allow more contextualized literacy and more programs like the one I'm going to share. So what I wanted to do was tell you a little bit about one example of our programming, and then you're going to hear from three very distinguished gentlemen who are a part of that program. It's Green Jobs Readiness, and it's located at 2 Federation of Neighborhood Centers. And we're lucky to have a lot of our partners here, Diane, Jerry, and Mitch, who are doing the work behind this. And essentially what it is involving is there's a sustainable business network in this region that's mapped out where the opportunities are. And they've said in solar and energy efficiency, there are workforce needs. Then we've created a curriculum and a tailored set of job training opportunities to move people into those jobs. Then the final piece is we've located it in a community center where people have an existing relationship. And so it's very much around contextualizing literacy, so people aren't learning about, Jane and Paul go to the market to eat fruit. They're learning Jane and Paul are visiting the home to do an energy efficiency audit, and they are looking at how much energy they're using, and then you're doing math around that energy. And you find, and you'll hear this in the people that you're going to hear from in a moment, people are a lot more excited when they're learning and they can see the connection to a job opportunity in their future. And so that is the idea of what we're aiming towards. And it has a few components, as you've probably heard. One, it's innovative. We're trying to test out new ideas, and we're bringing together the entrepreneurs and the intrapreneurs in the public system who share that vision. It's collaborative. We've got all these different players coming together so that for participants, it's an integrated system You don't have to spend all of your time trying to get funding from 5 different streams in order to just get to one job. And finally, it's systemic. We mapped out the supply and demand. We figured out that there's an opportunity in these jobs in solar and energy efficiency and foam installation, and there's not in other areas, and so we're spending our energies where that systemic vision comes together. So with that introduction, it's a great pleasure for me to introduce the 3 people to my right. Before I introduce them, it's Sylvester Carter and Kenneth Ross and James Fowler. I just want to say what tremendous courage they have and everyone else in this program has. I think that as funders, we sometimes see ourselves taking a chance on others that we support. And the truth is, in a much larger and more profound way, they are taking a chance on us. We were talking about this yesterday at the community center. It's a bleak job market out there. And it's very easy when you hear abundant stories about people putting all of themselves into programs, going through training and not getting jobs, to become very discouraged. And so amidst all that, amidst the numbers that you heard about with high levels of adult unemployment among African Americans, these are individuals who saw a poster about a green job training program and have given them all, given their all to that idea and to making themselves ready for this new green economy. And that takes a tremendous amount of courage. It's more than I think most of us have ever had to give of ourselves. And so I want to thank them and congratulate them for making it this far in the program and allow them to now share their stories with all of you.